I only started hearing his name recently, and I was like, who the fuck is this? Who is this Clavicular guy? And apparently, you guys in chat said that he got to be famous because he hit his face with a hammer for looks maxing, which, like, this is like the level of stupidity on par with the lady that put Gorilla Glue on her hair. So I don't know how he got famous or into some sort of, like, definitely not glowy inner circle with the Tate brothers and Nick Fuentes. Like, I don't fucking understand how this is happening. Doesn't make any sense. But this tweet came across my fucking feed, because apparently saying his name causes him to appear on your social media. And I was like, he said, don't even need to know anything about these candidates. The choice is obvious. Being out of shape is the ultimate sign of weak will and gluttony. You do not want a weak fatty as your president. And he shows a picture of Gavin Newsom next to JD Vance. And the JD Vance picture is obviously at the unflattering man who doesn't know how to take a selfie angle for some reason. But, like, I don't understand why all of these supposed far-right, Nazi-adjacent, horrendous, racist people constantly say to vote for left-wing politicians, right? Like, the only logic I can even really understand is, while the leftist Democrat politicians are far more racist than any Republican could hope to be, like, we could have a Republican candidate literally put on a Klan hood and he still wouldn't be as racist as the Democrats have been for the past several decades. So, like, maybe that's why they all want to vote for Democrats. Like, I don't understand. I genuinely don't get it. And then to even further devolve that to just be like, well, Gavin Newsom has a better jawline than JD Vance. And it's like, well, what? Now you just sound like that chick in my high school who said she'd vote for Obama because he's black and black men have big dick energy. Like that, you are literally voting the same way a high school girl would vote. What are you doing? What is this? Yeah, it is exactly that dumb. I like, maybe it's just fucking social media rage baiting. But again, how did he get so much attention so quickly from hitting his face with fucking hammers? I don't understand. Women should not be allowed to vote because of shit like that. I just, like, if anything is astroturfed, this smells like it, dude. There was another video. I don't know who he's actually talking to. This person says, Clavicular runs into Venezuelan cartel members at a Miami party, and they tell him his coke is shit. I don't know if these are actual cartel members. They might just be, like, gay Cubans or some shit saying that he has bad coke. But also, why does he have coke?
You want some of the mag later?
Of course.
Okay, I got
heavy.
you. Oh, this fucking guy. All right, we'll do it.
I usually have it in little vials. Glass vials.
I got you.
I have a plug because I distribute.
Oh shit. Oh, yeah.
Yo, please tell me that's not the 8-ball. That's just tiny.
No, I have the rest. I have a couple bags. Oh.
That's just trash.
I know.
Get my number. I got you my shit.
Someone gave me this for free. I already.
Oh.
Jersey. So yeah, I'm new to all this. Venezuela. Damn.
That's incredibly weird. Literal who to prominent right-wing influencer hanging out with suspected cartel members discussing quality of cocaine? What are we doing here? Why does he have coke? Kirsche, he works for the CIA. Why wouldn't he have coke? I guess fair. When you start getting into, like, that weird circle of people that you would love to avoid hearing about but you can't, I would say that's kind of prominent. Like, this guy has made it into a more prominent right-wing circle than, like, anyone I know. We have a standalone Asmon clip. Apparently Asmon might go to the White House, which, holy fuck, that sounds incredibly exciting.
This is a stream.
I'm gonna take a bite of my muffin.
There's a chance that I might, you know, there's maybe a possibility that, you know, maybe something could happen. I don't want to make any promises or anything like that, but there is definitely a possibility that something could maybe happen.
I would love to see him and Vance fucking talking. Holy shit. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine how cool that would be?
I just don't know. Me going somewhere particularly. And, yeah, I'm not sure, right? It depends. I haven't really looked into everything, but, yeah. And so I don't want to, I'm not trying to make any promises or make any commitment. UFC White House next to Trump and Dana. I will say this. I know people who have a situation that could potentially... basically, I think that there's a good chance that if I wanted to go to that, I could go to that.
That's really fucking cool. I would love to be in a situation where I know people who know people who know people, and I could go to the White House. That would be so fucking cool. I would love to have, like, even a mention, right? Where Trump is just like, I've heard of this anime Fox woman who is now the new Fox News. Fantastic. I know fantastic news. Something like that. That would be so funny. That'd be so funny. We'll just go for a visit after the remodel is finished. You're Trump's top guy. You do know someone, Asmon? I would feel really weird asking Asmon for a favor, right? Because it's just like, I don't know. We haven't done anything together. He's just reacted to some of my stuff and defended me once. So it's like, if I feel like if I ask him for something, then it looks like I'm specifically clout chasing. And I don't want to look that way. And especially, like, I feel so fucking bad for him. He's had so many friends around him face, like, crazy allegations, whether they end up being true or they end up being, like, manufactured or whatever. If I was him, I would just be so fucking paranoid of every single person. Because it's like 99% chance anyone talking to you is doing so to use you for some reason, right?
Because I know people that are involved, right? And so I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. But if I could do that, that would be fucking insane. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, the Department of Gaming. That's right, guys. And Caleb, I don't know about Caleb. I haven't talked to Caleb, actually. I probably should. I like the guy a lot. And 2026
Caleb
is your
Hammer?
year?
I'd love that
I mean, maybe, right? I mean, every year things seem to get better. Honestly, I kind of wish they'd get worse so I could just relax a little bit, man. I'm going to be honest.
No, there's already too many things to talk about, Asmon, dear. Stop it.
It's been going on. It's been getting so real recently that I've been getting stressed out. I'm like, damn, like, what, we got all this pressure, everything happening here. You honestly should go. Like, maybe I should. I mean, like, and I've also had a lot of people, Democratic people, actually reach out to me too, if you want me to be honest. I've had a lot of them, people in positions that are specific. And, yeah, I appreciate it.
That kind of makes me feel like, why are they reaching out to Asmon? Are they trying to get him to reel back? Are they trying to corrupt the Asmon bald?
I think that, again, like, I try to talk to people and do whatever the fuck.
I know he tries to do whatever the fuck, and it would still be cool to see him talk to a Democratic politician. But I definitely would not assume good intent on that. They know how massive his voice is? Oh yeah, absolutely. Did something happen to Lemon? You were a little late today? Unfortunately, no. Internet Zen Master, thank you. If Asmongold actually pulls it off, Hassan would rage, implode, and then explode before curling up in a ball, sobbing uncontrollably, all on stream. That would be very funny. The amount of seething would be very funny. I mean, I imagine people who hate Asmon are going to be posting that one Lakari clip for like a million years, even though Asmon's already addressed it. Apparently, this was a vote on whether to get rid of some sort of a vehicle thingy where like the government wanted to put like kill switches in people's cars to turn it off whenever the fuck. And that's a bad thing. I would not want this to happen. And so they were voting on whether to get rid of that or not. And 211 Democrats said, no, we don't want to get rid of that. We want kill switches in people's vehicles. And 57 Republicans joined them in saying, yeah, that's a good point, actually. We should have that. Full roll call for Massey is now available. Let's see. Let's take a little look-see-peeksy. Let's see here. All votes. We want Republican. And we want the nay vote. If I'm thinking correctly, right? We want the nay? Yes, we want the nay. So this is 57 nay votes from Republicans. We have Amode from Nevada, Bacon from Nebraska, Bice from Oklahoma, Bilrakis, Florida, Bost, Illinois, Calvert, California, Carter, Texas, Cole, Oklahoma, Diaz-Balart, Florida, Dunn, Florida, Edwards, North Carolina, Elizee, Texas, Feenstra, Iowa, what a name, Fine, Florida, Fitzpatrick, Pennsylvania, Fleischman, Tennessee, Fong, California, Garbarino, New York, Jimenez, Florida, Hill, Arkansas, Hurd, Colorado, Jack, Georgia, James, Michigan, Joyce, Ohio, Keene, New Jersey, Kelly, Pennsylvania, Kiggins, Virginia, Kylie, California, Kim, California, King Hines, Northern Mariana Islands, La Hood, Illinois, Lalota, New York, Lawler, New York, Lucas, Oklahoma, Maliotakis, New York, Malloy, Utah, Mast, Florida, Mauser, Pennsylvania, Miller, Ohio, Miller Meeks, Iowa, Moore, North Carolina, Moore, Utah, Moylan, Guam. I was unaware Guam had voting in this. I guess probably another non-counting vote. Murphy, North Carolina, Newhouse, Washington, Nunn, Iowa, Rogers, Kentucky, Salazar, Florida, Simpson, Idaho, Stefanik, New York, Thompson, Pennsylvania, Turner, Ohio, Valladao, California, Van Orden, Wisconsin, Whitman, Virginia, Womack, Arkansas, and Zinke, Montana. If any of these are your representatives, this is your sign. You must get involved post-haste in your local politics. You must run a candidate against one of these spineless do-nothings and get them the fuck out of their seat.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, leaving the House floor. Several bills tonight. I'm incredibly disgusted.
Hey man, I feel like you talk like someone from King of the Hill. That's nice right there. I don't know who this rep is. I'm assuming he's from like Texas or some shit.
We did pass the Department of Homeland Security appropriations bill. We gotta have that. We gotta have ICE. We gotta have the people maintaining our border.
Tennessee, I was close.
Bill by Scott Perry out of Pennsylvania and Thomas Massey out of Kentucky, an amendment that would approve the use.
Chat, look at how fucking sexy those columns are, bro. Look at those sexy columns. Oh my god.
The funds, these, from the Infrastructure and Jobs Act to put these kill switches on. And I supported it. No, we don't need these kill switches because if somebody gets a DUI, they can arbitrarily, which is BS. You know where that'll head. Oh, we don't like that person. They owe us money. They don't vote right. They don't live right. I'm cutting their dadgum car off. And that's my biggest fear with electric vehicles. And that's where we're headed. But of course, it passed. My buddy, Representative Ralph Norman out of South Carolina, running for governor out there, and an amendment prohibit funds for certain community funding projects. And that was the trans stuff, the stuff where we're paying to neuter these little boys and cut the breasts off these little girls.
Which also shouldn't have gotten any funding, but apparently did.
We didn't have the guts to pass that dadgum amendment.
I really like how he keeps saying daggum, because it's like, you know he's angry and he wants to swear, but he's a proper southern gentleman. Oh, I love the daggum. It's tingly.
And then there was, it was on this bill.
What is this POV? Is the camera hanging off his belt or something? Men aged like 30 and above don't know how to take video or pictures. I know this because even as like a teenager, almost every selfie that I got from like a guy that was flirting with me, they would be holding their phone below their face. And so you'd get like, even if they were super fit, right? You get like the double chin angle. And it's just like, boy, I gotta teach you how to take a goddamn selfie. You know? So this is just like man who doesn't take pictures angle, as it were, as I've come to know. This is just normal. The nostril cam. Yeah, exactly.
Appropriations bill, $1.17 trillion. Now, the Democrats cheered when this thing passed because Republicans supported. Exceeded President Trump's budget request by $4.23 billion.
Old men were flirting with you when you were a teenager? No, I'm talking about like, if you're like around that age now, you were probably like the age to flirt with me when I was a teenager, right? Right, so like, it started at that age, and the guys who were like 15 at that time just grew up taking pictures and video at this angle and never changed, right? Is what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
It had Department of Health and Human Services, $116 billion for sexually transmitted disease, tuberculosis prevention.
What?
It would exceed President's budget request by 520 million. Which
Why?
Means, again, some little pet project in somebody's district all the time. And millions of dollars to the National Institute of Health program that President Trump zeroed out. Paid for Seattle hospital facilities and equipment, $3 million. Nobody knows what that is.
Speaking of which, something occurred to me when I was with my family for the holidays. I was thinking about how Taxachusetts is like a very common name for people to call Massachusetts because there's like a ridiculous amount of taxes on literally everything. And like whenever people talk about how they want less taxes, someone inevitably goes, "But don't you like having roads? Who will pave the roads if we don't have taxes?" And I've mentioned before many times about how the Mass-New Hampshire border is basically an imaginary line, right? Like you could be driving down one street and cross between Mass and New Hampshire like 5 fucking times. So it made me think about how when you get into New Hampshire, the streets are really fucking nice. Like unless you go out into literal country farmland area in New Hampshire, the roads are generally fucking nice. And in Massachusetts, they're filled with potholes and very horrendous to drive on. And I was like, that's really weird, considering New Hampshire has significantly less taxes than Massachusetts. So clearly, New Hampshire has figured out the answer to that question. Because roads would be the first to go if we reduce taxes.
Also, it paid for a lot of this crazy transgender stuff and things. Let me read off some of these to you here. It had pediatric gender and sexual health treatment, $3 million for that for one group. Christina Healthcare Service for facilities and equipment. They perform abortions through 23 weeks. Voices a community activist, leads for mental health, operates a syringe exchange program, $500,000. Children's Hospital in San Diego for pediatric mental health services, but what they don't tell you, as we found out, they perform gender transition procedures on minors, again. Intersex advocacy and fight for the bodily autonomy program in Connecticut, $1.55 million. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Hawaii. Oh, who's against that? Well, guess what? They operate an LGBTQ mentorship program. You can do whatever you want to, but our tax dollars shouldn't be paying for the dadgum thing. And
True.
Of course they pay.
True. Oh, did you see that lamppost? That was a sexy fucking lamppost. Like I've been inspired to, like, whenever I see something I really like architecturally, I want to go inside the business and be like, "Hey, where did you buy this? Where did you get this?"
Yes, because we're gutless and we're compromised and we're not doing what we said we're going to do. We're not following.
True.
We're not following what President Trump asked us to do, and y'all should be mad because I'm mad.
We are mad.
And I know leadership's going to say, "Oh, but we got to do that to get it over the Senate and pass." Well, guess what? The Senate.
No, it doesn't deserve to pass if you have to capitulate that fucking much. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
It ain't gonna. I put it up there, make them vote for that dadgum thing. Let's see, there was one good bill that passed, actually, a couple did, but Pregnant Students' Rights Act, it allows for these to inform students of their rights and protection to carry a pregnancy to term, like modified class schedules and excused absences and more. We ought to do that. If some kid's pregnant in college, we ought to try to make their life a little easier and not encourage them to get a dadgum abortion at taxpayer expense. Anyway, I'm disgusted. You ought to be disgusted. This thing's out of control.
There's a lot of disgust going around. And I really hate, like, I feel disgusting to say, like, vote for the spineless do-nothings if there's no other option in the upcoming midterms. Because they're like, what, like 6 months away or some shit? I can't math. But it's like, what if you can't run a candidate in that amount of time? Like, what other option is there? Voting for a Democrat that will just make things objectively worse than the spineless do-nothing? 10 months? If you can somehow fucking fund and make a grassroots candidate in 10 months, I would fucking do it. I would absolutely fucking do it. Because something needs to be done for all of these people who aren't actual Republicans and just want everyone to be worse off. Liberals in San Francisco jump and stomp on a Waymo vehicle that was in mid-transport taking a passenger to their destination. I don't know what the Waymo car did. I don't know what the Waymo car did, but if I was the passenger, I'd be freaked out of my fucking gourd. Fascinating behavior. As you can see here, the urban progressive is trying to stomp out a perceived threat. Why is the vehicle a threat? Well, you see, it's painted white, and anything white is a perceived enemy to the urban progressive, and thus it has earned the ire and the destruction visited upon it. Fascinating. Foxy doing English-styled wildlife documentaries. Why would you do this? What did the self-driving car do, man? They're doing God's work. Skynet will fall. Oh my god, they're software devs. A video of a young boy telling his mom about anti-immigrant harassment he faced while playing soccer has gone viral. CBS News spoke with the mother who filmed her son Max as he cried about the bullying he faced. She said she did not post the video to create controversy, but instead to remind people how deeply our words and actions can affect one another, especially our children. What about all the white children being indoctrinated and told from a young age that they're evil and literally responsible for everything bad in the world, so that they come home crying and hating themselves because of their skin color? What about that? What about those kids?
And this guy told me I'm an illegal immigrant, even though I was born in America.
This is 12-year-old Max. Max and his soccer team had just completed and won a 2-month-long soccer tournament. But instead of celebrating...
Oh no, children are assholes. Oh no, a child is crying. Fuck the Constitution. Fuck having laws and shit. Open the borders now.
Celebrating that momentous accomplishment, Max was reduced to tears while describing to his mother the terrible and hateful words he says another child used to bully and harass him.
He said Trump is gonna get me and send me back to where I used to live, and I was born in America.
See, this is like Tim's story of like going to the bus stop. Tim is half Korean, and his face is very Korean. And so the Chinese kids at his bus stop, they would like pull their eyelids back even more to do like a super squinty eye. And he was just left confused. Like, instead of crying to his Korean mother, he was just like, your eyes look almost exactly like mine. What the fuck are you doing? Like, so instead of crying and becoming a mess, this kid could have been like, send me back to where I came from, like down the street. You know, like, he could just respond like that.
I don't live anywhere else.
As a child of
not gonna lie, children are extremely cruel. They
in
are.
The United States,
children are assholes, man.
Who was bullied for looking and being different, and also as a new dad, watching Max tearfully try to make sense of what had just happened to him broke my heart in a million.
Let's be real. If they weren't saying go back to where you came from, they'd be bullying him for something else. Because kids are assholes. Like, we don't really need to make that huge of a deal out of like one specific instance, right? All bullying bad. How about that? How about that? How about all bullying bad? How about being able to use your racist against little white kids to send them into fucking panic attacks? Also bad. How about that?
What was especially gut-wrenching is listening to Max trying to apply some type of adult logic and understanding to what was being said to him.
I just don't get why kids like to say those stuff.
Because kids are assholes,
really
buddy.
Sad that how they just control their power like that.
What?
They think they have power, and it's just not nice.
Sorry, Max.
We spoke to Max's mom after she posted this video on Facebook, and she told us that she did not do this to create controversy.
I just don't believe her. First of all. Second of all, little Max should start throwing some daggers back, not literal daggers, word daggers, back at the people bullying him, right?
A bad girl.
Think there wasn't enough bullying in schools recently? Adults these days cry like 5-year-olds and throw tantrums? Yeah, that's true. Kids can't control their power level. Kids have not yet been taught how to feign ignorance in public and tell their jokes later, right? Chef Rowlett, thank you. Hold that thought, son. Let me grab the camera. Can you start crying again, please? Mommy needs a good shot.
But to remind people, quote, how deeply our words and actions can affect one another, especially our children. She shared it to remind us, and again, these are her words, kindness matters. And it starts with how we treat one another. She told us that her hope is that people who see this video and who see Max crying, bewildered by the hate that has just been levied against him.
Once again, children are assholes. They're going to say whatever the fuck they think they can get away with to get your goat, man. Like, this woman absolutely posted it for virtue signal points.
He hopes that people will be encouraged to reflect on the sentiment that we need to be more compassionate to one another. Max's mom told us she believes that, and again, this is a quote.
Why do so many women live in, like, this delusional landscape where, like, everyone should just be nice? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great if everyone could be, but unfortunately we live in the real world instead of Candyland, where there are shitty people. And if you don't prepare yourself for encountering shitty people, you're basically a sitting fucking duck, bro. Like, why would you not prepare people for the actual real world? It's the same as all of that shitty, like, teach men not to rape nonsense. It's like, they know that rape is bad. They know that it is wrong, unless they come from a culture that, I guess, doesn't punish rape. But that's a different conversation altogether. They're not doing it because they're confused about right and wrong. They're doing it because they don't fucking care. Please live in reality, I beg.
The division and hate we see in our country are clearly reaching our children, and that's heartbreaking.
But Jeremy Kaufman of New Hampshire fame quote tweeted this video of the crying child, and he said, option 1, normal, explain to your son how ridiculous this is and calm him down. Option 2, the progressive version, amplify your son's unfounded fears and use them for engagement. And that is precisely what this mother did. You can calm your son down and you can tell him, kids are gonna be assholes. Kids are going to try and make fun of you for any fucking reason. If it's not calling you an illegal who needs to go back to where you came from, it's gonna be your hair, it's gonna be your face, it's gonna be your clothing, it's gonna be even your parents. Kids will find anything that they can to try and upset you. What you gotta do is throw it back at them. You gotta have a comeback, and that comeback will make you the funny guy. Nathan's Famous, which opened as a 5-cent hot dog stand in Coney Island more than a century ago, has been sold to packaged meat giant Smithfield Foods in an all-cash $450 million deal. The company's announced on Wednesday. Guess who owns Smithfield Foods? China! A Chinese company owning an American icon. This is not right. China should not be owning anything in America. I agree. It seems really fucking weird to want to sell American food distributors to China. Did you ever forgorb if you forgorbed that you forgorbed? All the time, honestly. Your greatest fear is being at a random anime convention and hearing, oh, he's cute, Monya, behind you, and suddenly developing an insatiable hunger for cock. Oh, God. I hope if anyone at a convention cosplays me, they do that. They have to send out the gamification beam. China owns your wallet through the boat women, Kirsche. Actually, that's Hong Kong. Maine sheriff just admitted multiple officers were likely illegal aliens, with at least one corrections recruit being arrested by the Trump administration. He says, we let 3 people go on top of that because of their citizenship documentation not matching. This is insane. Giving illegal aliens any authority over American citizens is total betrayal. Keep finding them. I don't think any immigrants should be serving on police force or judiciary or in our political system whatsoever. I think because this is the country for Americans, only natural-born Americans should be in those positions. That is the only thing that makes sense. And it sucks because there are some immigrants who are great, who are fantastic, who are very much more American than some Americans. But it's like, it seems that frequently we come across issues.
6 p.m. that ICE arrested one of our corrections officer.
Bro, he looks so tired. His eye bags have become an extra set of cheeks. Like he's some kind of Studio Ghibli character. That's crazy.
He was hired in February of last year and underwent a rigorous hiring process. In fact, the last 3 years we've had 1,800, almost 1,900 applications, and we've only hired 138. So our hiring process is pretty rigorous.
I wouldn't say that it's rigorous just because you had an insane amount of applications and you only accepted, like 100 or whatever the fuck. He's 168. I can't even remember the number he said. Because you only have so many positions available. You only have so much budget to hire police officers, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean you have any kind of rigorous hiring standards, especially when we know that, once again, this man, Portland, literally inundated with DEI garbage, and somehow you hired multiple illegal aliens? That don't sound fucking rigorous to me, dumb bitch.
Every hire is legally required to be verified through an I-9. That's everybody within 3 days of hire.
Is this Oregon or Maine? This is Maine.
Had an I-9 done on him, and his responses and paperwork were pretty straightforward. His I-9 suggested that he was able to work in this country until April of 2029. Actually, the county has taken one step further and hired an immigration attorney to periodically check these I-9s and make sure that we're doing it correctly.
So
However,
are we saying that we need to investigate the immigration attorney because the immigration attorney somehow didn't catch multiple illegals being hired? Is it that they didn't catch, or that they're complicit in the hiring?
Because of this guy's pretty straightforward I-9, he was not one that was checked. We've also let 3 people go because of their I-9 not meshing, and we did not hire him as a result of that. This officer applied for a job in November of 2024. His background process started in December of 2024.
Can you just take a second and think about how little repercussions there are for illegals in our country? That someone here illegally not only applies to be a police officer, but feels safe enough in doing so that even if they get rejected for the position, they will not be deported upon being found out. That's insane. That is insane and disgusting.
It was completed in December 17th, so about 2 weeks. This background included reference checks, criminal history checks, fingerprints.
Did you say they let 3 guys go as in fired, but then also said they weren't hired in the first place? He did. He kind of contradicted himself a little there. Which one is it, bucko?
Computer-generated databases, and the results of this individual's background revealed no disqualifying conduct or no disqualifying convictions.
People who knowingly hire illegals should be arrested? Yes, I've been saying for ages, deportations are not enough. Arrests and deportations are not enough for the illegals here. There need to be repercussions for people hiring them, for people protecting them, for people forging documents for them, for people helping them facilitate fraud. All of these people need massive fucking repercussions. Because if you don't start nipping in the bud the public officials who cheer on and enable this stuff, and the corporations and the business owners who hire these people, you're never going to fix everything.
The next stage of the process is to fill out a 40-plus page pre-employment polygraph statement that asks things like, are you part of a gang? Have you had anything? Do you drink? Do you use drugs? Do you steal? Have you had any sexual activities with juveniles? It covers just about everything, including whether or not they have monetary problems.
Aren't polygraph tests not even like hugely used anymore because they're easy to fool? Am I crazy?
Making their payments. It was followed up by a polygraph by a very qualified polygraphist. And again, there were no statements of disqualifying conduct or disqualifying activities or crimes that hadn't been detected.
We're still living in 1957. Well, I mean, to be fair, you have the
The
luxury
individual
of
was
that if
arrested
you
last
lived in
night was
Maine
in
like
the
20 years ago.
academy last fall. And in November, specifically November 11th through the 13th, this individual left the academy and went to Texas for a hearing on his immigration status. He didn't let us know until after the fact, and we had some issues with it.
That's funny.
Because we should have known. But as my staff brought it to my attention, it's like, are we really worried about the fact that this individual is trying to get his immigration papers
Yes?
in line?
Yes?
so he
What do you
can
mean, are we really
become
worried? Yes.
A legal citizen.
Yes, we should be. He should not be on the police force. What do you mean?
The book and the movie do not line up.
What?
What I heard from Tom Homan almost a year ago, that we're going to remove the criminals off the street. The people that, much like the people that commit crimes that look like us, we don't want in our neighborhoods. I was all set with that. But in this particular case, this is an individual that had permission to be working in the state of Maine.
Well,
We vetted him.
not
He
well
took the
enough.
extra step of risking his job to fly to Texas to take care of hearings.
Well, clearly it wasn't that much of a risk, was
And for
it?
some reason, he was picked up last night.
For some reason.
We've all seen the 3-minute video.
I haven't.
And I've heard some people say, oh, it's hard to watch. What was hard is that there were 5 to 7 ICE agents there.
Okay.
In my world, my colleagues, we've arrested some dangerous people on the back roads of Cumberland County with 3 or less deputies.
Is this guy really gonna get on ICE who have been ruthlessly attacked in multiple states now? Is he really gonna be like, well, we only used 3 officers, not 5? How dare you arrest this illegal with 5? What is this fucking cock?
Yet, this was a show of force, a show of whatever they were trying to do with 7 people.
Oh, now it's 7 and not 5?
What's even more disturbing is the comment made by the witness that videotaped this encounter, who said that in the 3 minutes they got out, they pulled a guy from the car, handcuffed him, put him in the car, they all took off, leaving his car with the windows down, the lights on, unsecure, and unoccupied.
In theory, in Maine, that shouldn't be a problem. I had a friend do a little retard moment and leave my car on and running and the doors unlocked in front of a hotel. And I told him, like, hey, you maybe shouldn't do that. You're lucky we're in New Hampshire right now. Or else that would have been a problem. My car wouldn't be here if we weren't in New Hampshire right now. Oh my God. That should be fine, right? Unless some untrustworthy element had snuck in recently. I was like, what the fuck? And also, why is this guy saying that ICE got out of their cars, arrested this guy, put him in a car, and took him away in under 3 minutes? Like, that's a bad thing. I want more of that. That is incredibly fucking efficient. You're telling me it only took them 3 minutes to get this criminal illegal off the fucking streets that you were gonna hire for your police department? And you want me to think that is a bad thing? You fucking cunt.
They left it right on the side of the street. Folks, that's Bush League policing.
Bush League policing?
Again, in my world, you wait for a wrecker. You wait for somebody to come pick it up that the individual wants.
Why would ICE be responsible for that? Why would we give a single flying fuck about the illegal migrant's car?
Or you get permission to drive the vehicle into a public parking spot and you lock it up and you give the person their car keys. You don't leave their personal belongings.
The Bush League was the name of the second tier of NASCAR from 1984 to 2002 and became a synonym for a lower level of skill. These ICE agents arrested an illegal in under 3 minutes and you want to call them low skill? This guy is low IQ is what's happening here. God damn. And also, why would we care about the illegals' belongings? How did they afford those belongings? Where did they get the money for that? We should be seizing and liquidating the assets to pay back taxpayers, man.
And secure along the streets of the city of Portland. It's not fair to the guy that owns the car. It's surely not fair to the Portland police. And
do not care about fair. The illegal who came to my country illegally did not care about fair. The illegal who applied to be a police officer in my country to have rule of law over American citizens was not thinking about fair. So why in the fuck should we care about what is fair to an illegal in the country? Holy fuck, this dimwit.
Understanding is going on. I'll end with this. We're being told one story, which is totally different than what's occurring or what occurred last night.
There's a lot of propaganda out there. There's a lot of anti-ICE propaganda, man. That's crazy. Framing this as a betrayal feels like an overgeneralization. Operation Catch of the Day. That's a funny fucking name. Focused on individuals with serious convictions regardless of status. Let's focus on facts, not fear. All they can do is rile up fear because they want more people impeding ICE. They want more people protecting the precious criminals coming into here. And it's fucking obnoxious, right? In Minneapolis, ICE arrested a 5-year-old coming home from preschool and tried to use him as human bait. His teacher describes him as a bright young student. These monsters are sick. Except that's not what fucking happened! ICE did not target a child. The child was abandoned. On January 20th, ICE conducted a targeted operation to arrest Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, an illegal alien from Ecuador, who was released into the U.S. by the Biden administration. As agents approached the driver, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias fled on foot, abandoning his child. For the child's safety, one of our ICE officers remained with the child, while the other officers apprehended Conejo Arias. Parents are asked if they want to be removed with their children, or ICE will place the children with a safe person the parent designates. This is consistent with past administration's immigration enforcement. Parents can take control of their departure and receive a free flight and $2,600 with the CBP Home app. By using the CBP Home app, illegal aliens reserve the chance to come back the legal right way. We even have like Ilhan Omar saying ICE maced kids, school kids yesterday. Children in Minneapolis are scared and it's important for us to protect them. Like all these people can do is fucking lie. And it is insane. It is insane. You have another one, whoever the fuck James Tate is, another cuck Tate. Does this look like a criminal to you? He's 5 fucking years old. His name is Liam Ramos. Why are we just releasing the name of a child? Right? Like, what are we doing here? He is here legally. I doubt that. As is his dad. Double doubt if he's being arrested by fucking ICE. He lives in Minnesota. He's been kidnapped and imprisoned in a concentration camp in Texas. What fucking world do these delusional golems live in? I'm losing my fucking mind. I have never had such rage in my heart and I don't know what to do. Humans are the evilest, most dangerous, most despicable animals on the planet. I am literally ashamed to be one, quoted by James Whedon. Who the fuck is James Whedon? Who the fuck is this person? The child's school alleges that ICE agents used him as bait to capture his father. This man is so stupid. I hope he's not allowed to procreate, because what the fuck? What the fuck? He's not gonna make quality children. Memetic Sisyphus responded and said, this is very good propaganda because normal people with normal ethics can't imagine abandoning your child to run away from the police. It's simply not something that would even occur to most people. So when someone does, it's much easier for the normal person to believe a fake story about police cruelty than to believe a parent abandoned their child. It's actually insane. Eric Doherty saying, ICE agents took the 5-year-old boy in Minnesota to McDonald's and played his favorite music to comfort him. The fake news said he was detained by ICE. The reality is he was abandoned and saved by ICE. You can't hate them enough. Good on these ICE agents. And if we didn't live in fucking clown world, I'd be like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way you can convince me, like, ICE agents went to fucking McDonald's with a child. But considering we're in clown world and this child was abandoned by his father and they had to arrest the father to figure out what the father would want to do with the child, either get deported together or place the child in custody of someone of the father's choosing, that unfortunately makes sense in current clown world year, and I fucking hate it. When can an ICE agent with a nice thigh strap take me to McDonald's, chat?
And this is a horrific smear that we're seeing the mainstream media and politicians on the left, including Kamala Harris, take and run with. The facts are actually that this little boy was abandoned by his own father. His own father was being approached by ICE agents when he ran and abandoned the child. Our law enforcement, in these frigid temperatures, stayed with the child, tried to bring him into custody with the mother, who actually would not take the child into custody, which is so sad, so horrific. Our law enforcement officers actually were taking care of the child, brought him to McDonald's, were playing his favorite music to really calm him down. This is Asmark. There's major riots forming around our law enforcement officers. That is horrendous that the child is having to face this, but our law enforcement officers were taking care of him, and he's now reunited with his father in a federal processing facility. And this is a horrific...
All right, so the cops caught the father, and he's going to get deported together with the child. All right, the father's made his decision. And then someone quote retweeted this and said, ICE assistant director says his men spent hours comforting the 5-year-old child the fake news keeps lying and saying was detained. My officers did that, not his father. My officers stayed with the child, they cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of. Again, my officers did that, not his father. His family refused to open the door and take him back. I didn't know that. That's fucking crazy. I thought the father just abandoned him. But the fact that they tried to give him to his family and the family refused to open the door, actually insane.
This week, ICRO conducted targeted enforcement operation to arrest Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, an illegal alien who was released back into the interior of the United States by the previous administration. When officers approached Conejo Arias, he and his child were in a vehicle. Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter in a vehicle.
Jesus Christ.
One of our officers stayed behind with that child while other officers apprehended his father. After conducting the arrest, my officers stayed with the child.
Can you just imagine, visualize for a second, if we didn't have the internet to learn about all these things in real time, to see exactly how much the left is lying about what's going on? If this was even 30 years ago, everything from the Black Lives Matter riots would have just been fact. Kyle Rittenhouse probably would have been railroaded. We would all be probably very anti-ICE.
They cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of. Again, my officers did that, not his father. My officers did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door.
Which, again, insane. Instead of taking their child back, they were more worried that ICE would take them in as well. Which, you know what? They probably should have. They probably should have been taken in as well. They're just nope, we're going to abandon this child because our ability to stay in this country illegally and take advantage of the American taxpayer is worth more than that child. And this is what the left is protecting. Absolute insanity.
Let me say it again. They saw the young boy and they refused to open the door and take him back.
You need art of Lolly Kirsche sitting in the front seat of an ICE truck with McDonald's as Kier Mom is getting thrown in the back. True and fucking real. Where's Mayor of XDville when you need him, our hero?
This is the human side of the job that my officers do. They are family men and women. They have children of their own. They sacrifice everything for their families. I know for a fact that they were heartbroken to see the child's own family leave him behind.
Well, yes, any normal person would, because it's when you have a child, You do anything for that child. It doesn't make sense to take a selfish path in that manner.
Fortunately, Conejo Arias eventually requested that his child stay with him. We do everything in our power not to separate families. So they took him back together to Minneapolis, here to the city, to the ICE facility for processing, and now they are being well cared for at a family residential center, pending their immigration proceedings. This is the real face of ICE, ERO, Border Patrol, and our allied partners.
Unironic good job on them. Not gonna lie, you would separate them. If the dude ran and left the child, he shouldn't be taking care of a child. I agree, but as an illegal, not really our problem. He doesn't get to go through family court, and we don't deal with the child because it's not ours. And it's like, that might sound kind of callous, but it's like, the rest of his family wouldn't open the door for the child. The father is getting deported. What would we do with the child? If the rest of the family in the country won't take him, it's up to the father what happens. And that's not anything we can deal with. And like, if ICE agents tried to like remove a child from his parent that was getting deported, that would be a news story plastered fucking everywhere, even if they were trying to get him like into a better family situation, right? Like there's nothing we can realistically do in that situation. And I don't think we should be separating children from their parents in a deportation procedure. The parents and the child should stay together if that's their actual parent, right? I have an extra clip, I think, from that same thingy. Not about the child, though. It's rioters showed up to the federal building in Minneapolis with a U-Haul truck full of riot shields to block agents from leaving the building. Per ICE ERO head Marcos Charles, this cannot keep happening, but they keep getting away with it. And I am tired of them getting away with it.
Moments ago,
oh, my left ear loves this.
A group of agitators, a U-Haul van filled with shields. Oh, it's not coming up. All right. Shields and gear decided to come over here to the Whipple building and block traffic. They are currently trying to impede us from getting out of the building and going and do our mission. I'll tell you right now, they're going to fail, because no matter what they put up in front of us, we are here to do a job to protect this community, to protect Minnesotans, and to keep the criminal legal aliens off the street and put them where they belong, back into detention, and remove them from this country.
Sake of it, can we break out the fire hoses? Can we turn them into protesticles? Can we do that? I would like to see that. Just get them home, all right? Get them out.